Hello, everybody. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. And this update is dropping in Pokemon Unite very soon, where we will have balance adjustments for Galarian Rapidash, finally, as well as more matchmaking adjustments, which I don't even know where to begin. Well, I guess I have to begin here, which is I saw this announcement a little bit ago, and then I got near my computer to record it. And there is a notice that they are currently experiencing an unexpected issue and will need to delay this update. We'll announce a new timing later. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Let's kind of start to get into these patch notes and maybe what's going on here, because it's just, it's Pokemon Unite, baby. All right, let's find out what's happening here. So, balance updates to Galarian Rapidash. I was reading through some of these, and they all seem pretty dang reasonable. A huge shield decrease on Pastel Veil by 20%. Unstoppable is now hindrance resistance. So, if you don't know the difference between these, Unstoppable, basically nothing affects you, right? Until that shield would be broken. You're just like, you're cruising at 100 miles an hour as the horse. Hindrance resistance, on the other hand, is kind of what happens to Greedent, where stuns and things like that still don't stun you, but now you get slowed as it's going. And then we have the psychic counter accumulation speed decreased by 50%. So, I mean, these are huge. Like this, it's passive through everything it does. These are massive nerfs for this Pokemon. Basic attack damage decreased 10%. I didn't find this to be one of the bigger problems with the Pokemon, but fine. Dazzling Gleam has a 15% damage decrease, which is pretty massive and very reasonable, right? Move speed increase upon hitting an opponent has a 33% decrease, so it no longer turns into a bullet like immediately as soon as it hits one person with Dazzling Gleam. They actually have an increase in the stun from Smart Strike, and the Fairy Wind move set, which is awful, got a buff. These are, I don't know if they needed to do anything to Smart Strike, to be fair, but these are actually all insanely reasonable changes. Why it took so long for them to change this, I don't really know, but these are all very reasonable changes, so I am happy to see all of these changes. Fairy Wind, it reduces the bonus damage granted by Pastel Veil, your passive. The increased damage when your move speed is low is huge, because it is garbage when you have no move speed currently. It's absolutely terrible. It's worse than an auto attack sometimes. Well, maybe not now with a 10% decrease. And then the total damage when the move speed is sufficiently high remains unchanged. So if you can get super high move speed, usually using agility because it doesn't really pair with Smart Strike at all. If you can get high move speed and then you land that final Fairy Wind and you get that nice knock-up and a big chunk of damage, that could be pretty decent. We have Agility Plus, which is lowering its HP recovery from 2% of max HP to 2% of lost HP, which is obviously a big difference, right? You're not able to sort of like just truck out of battle with Agility Plus, come back in with full HP, and then just start hitting with Dazzling Gleam for like 8,000 damage. All of these changes, phenomenally reasonable, very good, long overdue, and apparently still overdue. The combination of Dazzling Gleam and Agility has been overwhelmingly dominant in both pick and win rates. True, and ban rates, by the way. This adjustment aims to maintain Galarian Rapidash's playstyle of high-speed map control while reducing its excessive damage, survivability, and healing capabilities. Meanwhile, Fairy Wind and Smart Strike, which had low win and pick rates, have been improved to enhance their usability. Yeah, this is, yeah. Okay, now let's talk about this matchmaking thing, because I don't even know where to begin, and I'm guessing if we look at this, the experiencing an unexpected issue, it had to be this. It had to be whatever these matchmaking changes are. And look, I've talked a lot about matchmaking. All I'm going to say at this point about matchmaking, I'm going to give a silver lining to all of this. For whatever reason, they clearly care about fixing matchmaking. I don't know why now. I really don't. I don't know why this didn't happen year one or something like that. Like, I don't know why this didn't happen, in like the height of this game's popularity, when some of these changes would have been a lot easier. Like, it would have been a lot easier to separate players when there were more players, but clearly they are aware that the player base that is still playing this game on a very regular basis is not happy with matchmaking. So here we are. Changes have been made to the matchmaking system for ranked matches. Below is an overview of the current mechanism and adjustments being implemented. So, in ranked matches, the system pairs 10 players based on the following process. When matchmaking begins, players are randomly assigned one of two roles, host or client. The host creates a matchmaking lobby and searches for 9 waiting clients in the matchmaking queue. Clients remain in the queue until selected by a host. The host searches for clients with a master rating within a specific range. So this is when they changed it from having an MMR system, which we've had forever, to a master rank rating system. Basically, the difference is MMR is a hidden value that we never knew. It's based on lots of factors, and now it is your master rank rating, which we all know. If you're 1600, it's 1600. If you're 1200, it's 1200. If you're still in Ultra, it's however they pair Ultra, which I'm guessing is just like, if you're in Ultra, you're all in the same pool. The search range, if 9 clients cannot be found within a set time, the host gradually expands the search range to include a wider rating difference. So it's looking for people within I don't know what it will be, within 20 points, and then it expands to 50, it expands to 100, 200, etc. The search range expands step by step until a match is successfully made, with a limit on the maximum allowable rating difference. So that part is interesting. I don't know what the maximum allowable, I really smashed those two together, what the maximal rating difference will be. In an ideal world, we really wouldn't see players that are paired with greater. If you're in 1200, for instance, you would never want to be paired with a player in 1600. It's just so different. But I don't know what the maximum allowable rating difference is, or maximal, for those of you keeping track at home. Once 10 players have been matched, they're divided into teams of 5 players, each to ensure similar average rating values. If pre-made groups exist, the matchmaking system ensures that both teams maintain the same composition. So a duo on one side, a duo on the other. Changes and expected effects. To create a fairer competitive environment, we are reducing the rating range that hosts search for and slowing the speed of the search ranges expansion. So they're trying to get tighter matches, and they are not going to start looking for other players unless they're like, look, you've been queuing for a minute and you haven't found anybody. This will ensure that players with similar ratings are matched more consistently. Due to this significantly reduced rating difference, matchmaking times may be longer. This is what they talked about previously, by the way, and it didn't happen at all. So they said matching players like how they were looking at before would create longer queue times, but it didn't do anything of the sort. Maybe until you get into the 2000s it did, but for 99% of the player base, it was nothing. Therefore, this change will be implemented on a trial basis in select regions, aka not in OC, maybe not in EU. I don't know. You're going to have a lot of players in your region, and I don't know which regions are absolutely killing it right now. I think North America will definitely have it. Japan will definitely have it. Probably LATAM. But yeah, I'm not sure what regions are really strong right now, but obviously they can't implement this in a region that doesn't have a lot of players. 5-player teams are excluded from this adjustment. Obviously, they'd never find a game, as it would make matchmaking for entire teams considerably more challenging. After implementation, we will monitor matchmaking times, and if we observe any negative impact on the gameplay experience, we may revert the changes immediately. So, I don't know what happened here, but it's possible as they tried to implement this change, it was like you couldn't get a game at all. And I mean, this is something they're tweaking. I've had plenty of talks about this, so all I can say with any of it is I hope they fix it. I think they could. I know this is like matchmaking is really hard to get right. you want your games to be fun and competitive, but you don't want every single one of them to be an ultra sweat. But once you get to a certain ranked rating, I mean, it's natural that you're going to be playing with really competitive players if that's the kind of player you are too. So we'll see what any of this means. We'll see when they actually implement this. I was excited to try to, get on tomorrow, especially with the horse nerfs, where I'm like, well, look, at least I don't have to worry about every single game being a non-draft game because someone's running a Smurf to play Galarian Rapidash. But when this gets implemented, I'm excited to try it out. We shall see. Again, the one positive thing is they clearly are trying to fix matchmaking. I mean, say what you will about it, and I've said plenty. They're actually trying to fix it. I don't know if they will, but here we are. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. I love you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm completely past the being annoyed at matchmaking, and now I'm just curious. I'm just morbidly curious. Like, what are they gonna do with this? So, all right, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. We did it.